So strategy, creation, advancement, success and prosperity, it all comes through the mouth. Then the next step, it says in the book of James 1:22, but be ye doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. But then the reality is it starts with hearing. It starts with hearing. A lot of people just say that, no, let's not talk, let's have action. But you would die in the field of battle if you don't have the information that you should have. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think I deserve a round of applause. So the reason for this VIP day, two things. Number one, it is not to say that there is something else you deserve because you paid a higher ticket price. That's not the idea. Because what I'm going to give you and what I gave you already, if you paid $20, $50, $100, $150, and if you make 10K, then we can't even compare the two. And we're talking about 10K once in 1 month and then into perpetuity and more than 10K, right? So we're not saying you're here because you deserve something extra. We're simply saying that your ticket, the ticket that you had, allowed you to be a part of a smaller group. Is that making sense? So having said that, you're not here so that I teach you some extra model, right? It's not to say we don't have other models, but what we're saying is there's no point. The Bible says ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. So we're not trying to say, okay, we taught you this. Now the other guys are gone. I'm going to teach you another secret that I didn't teach the others. That's not the idea. We're here to have a conversation, all right? And we're here to focus more on the character of business than the science of business. For those that were listening, you know exactly what I'm saying, right? So having said that, before we go forward, Kundai, what had you discussed here before I came? Was our gentleman here the first person that spoke, or what's the general atmosphere in the room?
All right, so he was our first speaker. I had just asked him to give us a brief summary of how the private business class impacted his life, his experience, and the likes. And then we moved on to his wife over here, and yeah.
Right, okay, fine. So I pretty much caught everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer honestly, right? From what we spoke of, and I think I asked this last week, but from what we spoke of last week, how many people here would say business is ultimately difficult? Right. I asked this last week and most people raised their hands. Now, the reason why your hands are down is probably because you have more information than you had before, right? We want to create a culture of people that care for other people. All right. Don't wake up in the morning and just think, what can I get from the world? Because if you came to this world to receive, you might as well have stayed in heaven, because heaven is better than earth. So why would you come here to receive? It's like we're sitting here in this very nice place, the Liberty Center, and then you choose to stand up and then tell yourself that now I'm going to say Tumbare to receive whatever I'm going to receive. You might as well stay here because it's better. Right? So just in the same way, if you came to this earth to receive, you might as well have stayed in heaven, because naturally heaven is better than earth. Mm-hmm. That means that you came to this earth with an assignment, with a purpose, with a gifting. Remember, gift comes from the word give. So anytime you say, yeah, I've got this gift, there's nothing to boast about. The reality is it's just something that you're supposed to deliver to another person. Mm-hmm. So I think it was last year or the year before, and I was, speaking to this person and that person and that person and this, and doing all these engagements and whatnot, and people were betraying me, some people were loving me. It's all, it's a mixed batch, right? And then I asked God, and I said, you know what, God, this is unfair. People are using me, right? And then he gave me a response. I know that may be difficult for some people to understand, that God actually responds, but he does. But that's a lesson for another day. And I said, God, people are using, right? And then I'm thinking he's going to say, no, I'll fight your enemies and I'll do this. And the reality is what he said is, yeah, that's why I made you, to be used. Right? If you have the gift of healing, it's not so that you heal yourself. It's so that you heal the next person. If you have the gift of prophecy, that's why you realize that a pastor needs a pastor, a prophet needs a prophet. So I can know when you stand in front of me, I can know the exact direction for your life by the Spirit. and tell you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't mean I know everything about my life. Far from it. Because if I did, then that would create pride in me. So my lack is so that another person feels it, so that I realize that there is another essence of God that has been put in another man for me.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
All right. So in your businesses, and I like what our dear pastor said here, that yes, we do care about money. Never mistake my message from saying we don't care about money. If we don't, then what's the point of the business? Right? But we want business people that actually care about the person more than the money. Is it making sense? So the idea is to say, let's make the tens of thousands and the hundreds of thousands and the millions and the billions. But have you ever sat down and actually thought, how can I provide, what's your name, sir? Levi. How can I provide more value to Levi? How can I make his life better? Because the Bible says the greatest among all of you will be the one that serves the most. Right? Yeah. It's a very simple equation. So which means the more people that I serve, the greater I am. And because of the laws of economics, supply and demand, naturally money then becomes the rationing system.